Welcome to another episode of Battle for the Belt. It's the middle of August here in Ohio, and this is a very critical stage for soybean plants where they can be susceptible to stress and insects and other issues. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. In Ohio, in our Battle for the Belt study, our soybean planting dates ranged quite a bit from as early as March 27th to as late as June 24th. The earlier planted soybeans and even the ones planted in the middle of May are either at the R5 growth stage, R6 growth stage, or quickly approaching those stages. And these are really critical stages in terms of environmental stress or insect and disease issues. Before I jump into those specific issues, I want to mention a fact sheet developed by the Science for Success team. The Science for Success team is funded by United Soybean Board, and we're a group of agronomists across the U.S. representing 90% of the soybean production acres, and we create a lot of materials that are useful for farmers and other people in agriculture. So the website is scienceforsuccess.org. The fact sheet I'm going to be talking about today is the soybean growth cycle, important risks, management, and misconceptions, and we'll be focusing on the R5, R6 stages, which are seed fill. The R5 stage is when there is a seed that is 1/8 inches long in a pod at one of the 4 uppermost nodes on the main stem with a fully developed leaf. So a lot of our soybeans are at R5 or starting to enter R5 in Ohio. So there's some risks at this growth stage. One could be a loss of leaf tissue by disease, insects, hail, things like that. And the plants are very sensitive at the seed fill stage because once that soybean transitions to seed set, the plant can't compensate very well for lost leaves and reduced photosynthetic rate. And this is when soybeans are most sensitive to stresses. And once you get past the seed fill stage, there's less of an effect on stressors, but the seed fill stage right now is very critical. So in terms of management, scouting is really good to do right now in terms of your soybean. It may not be fun to do because it's very hot and humid, but it's an important time to scout your fields. You may want to look for insects that feed on leaves or pods and seeds. So look for stink bugs and bean leaf beetles. Apply insecticides only if insects are at the threshold levels for your state, and make sure that you're following any pre-harvest intervals for those products. Scouting for disease is important this time of the year. Fungicides aren't usually recommended right now for most diseases, but it's good to know what you have in your field, and that will help you plan for next year. Another risk this time of the year is water availability. So specifically drought. It's been dry in some areas in Ohio, and when soils are dry, it can limit the nutrient availability to plants from the soil. It can also limit seed size. You might see smaller seeds if it's really dry conditions. Flooding is also a problem at this stage. I don't think we're seeing that in Ohio right now, but soybean plants are susceptible to flooding at this stage. In terms of management, there's not much you can do in the short term, but in the long term, you can think about no-till. No-till should help conserve soil moisture, and other practices such as manure application or cover cropping can help build organic matter in the soil and retain soil moisture. Another risk at the R5 to R6 growth stage is nutrient deficiencies. About half of the seed's requirements for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium comes from nutrients taken up by the plant during vegetative growth and then redistributed from the leaves during seed filling. And the remainder of those nutrients need to come from the soil during seed fill. Unfortunately, the best time to manage soil fertility issues is before you plant. But keeping an eye on it this time of the year is important. Little can be done, though, in terms of management. The Science for Success team has looked at foliar fertilizers, and they don't typically improve soybean yields because those foliar products are usually unable to provide high enough levels of N, P, and K to compensate for those deficiencies. So again, I want to mention this fact sheet from the Science for Success team. In addition to the R5 and R6 growth stages, they also address considerations throughout the soybean growth cycle.